Hey everyone, how's it going? Get pretty decent at starting these live streams now with StreamYard. I find this software is pretty nice. So I'll wait for a few people to get on, and then I'll kind of go over putting together a part to my pinball machine. So it should be interesting. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. And then I'm going to show some. What's up, Ant Dog? How you doing, man? How's your week going? Did you make any progress on things? I was going to say I'm going to show off some 3D prints that my daughter made, so that should be kind of fun. How's the AI coding going these days? Hopefully good. I didn't do as much coding as I would have liked this week, but I got some stuff done. Let's put it that way. I was working on a 3D model for my job, and I'll show you guys that. It's pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if my work is going to go with it, to be honest. You know, this light, there's one light bulb that's kind of like giving the shine on my camera. It's okay. Wait for a few people to show up, and then I'll get started. Any luck with the job hunting? Any recruiters? I know you had that one recruiter. Did that recruiter call back or anything, or get anything lined up as far as interviews? I'm great. Had an interview with an IT director today. He has more candidates. However, the conversation was good. It's hard to imagine I don't get the contract. Good, man. That's good. Good progress, you know. And sometimes even if they don't end up picking you, sometimes the people who show up don't work out and then they come back. It just depends, you know. Or they decide they need more people, right? That can happen too. So, you know, they kind of say that too, like they've got other candidates that kind of, you know, keep you in check. To probably kind of keep your negotiating skills as low as they can get them, right? You also updated my site and launched a free business tool. Oh, that's great, man. What's your site again? I'll check that out. I'll share it a little bit later. Can't remember what the site was. Or I don't remember if you shared it. I'm trying to remember now, last live stream. It's been such a busy week, man. I can't remember what I did last Friday. It's pretty sad. That's good though. Yeah, you got to keep up your site. Is it a resume site or is it a portfolio site? I don't think we did share that. I don't remember. But no, that's great, man. A business tool too. That's pretty cool. Is it like an AI tool of some sort? Or maybe a spreadsheet or something? Or something for IT professionals, I would assume, maybe. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like building business tools. It helps people out, you know. I built this tool, which I did not get back on it, to where I can open up an MP4 file and it'll transcribe it, and then it'll build a prompt to dump into ChatGPT to summarize the transcript, give me a YouTube title, give me YouTube thumbnails, shop links, all this automation stuff. So I should probably try to wrap that up and make it into a shareable tool. So, hey, Steve, how you doing, man? How's good old England, United Kingdom these days? You guys have still pretty summer weather right now, I would imagine, in August. So it's pretty temperate here in Michigan. We've had a little bit of a cool down, which is kind of nice. We're getting that fall feeling here pretty soon in the northeast. Starting to feel like fall just a little bit. Good. Doing good over there. Awesome. So as you guys can see, I do have one of my printers hooked up. It is streaming over via OBS Studio. So I'm using OBS Studio as my virtual camera in StreamYard. So it's kind of cool. I'm getting techie tonight. All three I bought the domains for, and I took one guy from this chat who mentioned GitHub. Oh, that's great. Yeah, the GitHub Yeah, Jack in the Shop. He has that. I think he's hosting through GitHub his basic web pages that links to his Etsy shop. I think that's a great idea. I need to do that myself because again, more sites you have, the more traffic you get. Because Google's always crawling, AI bots, they're always crawling, looking for new sites to get information and link back to other sites. So they got to know the whole internet in order to provide good AI results as well. So that's a good idea. Steve says, yeah, it has cooled down a bit here in the Northeast. Yep. Yeah, shout out to Jack. Yeah, Jack, he's pretty busy. I catch a couple of his live streams here and there. And then he's got his woodworking shop and product shop, his Etsy shop. So he's a busy guy, man. He's trying to get monetized. So yeah, if you check out his channel, I think it's Jack in the Shop is the name of his channel. So he's trying to get monetized. So good for him. I definitely see the advantage to being on YouTube if you're trying to sell products. You get reach, and every now and then you get a couple of special customers that place big orders with your shop or YouTube channel or whatever it is you're selling. So it's a new world. Like I guess I call myself Gen X / millennial. They call us Zennials, and this whole being in front of a camera, social media, selling yourself is definitely not like the normal thing for people probably 45 and up. But people are doing it every day. They're getting on YouTube, trying to be themselves. Try to sell what their vision is, what their products are, and I think it's fun. It's a new world. So it's better than probably like going door to door. That's for sure. Still 100 degrees in Houston. Yeah, you missed the Midwest fall season. Yeah, it's coming, man. We're gonna get the leaves change. My kids were playing outside and they saw 2 leaves. They must have fell early, and they were yellow and red. So we start getting color changes mid to late August, just little by little. Yeah, I'm tying it all in with my YouTube channel, AI Builds with AJ. That's great. That's awesome, man. Cool. Hey, I don't want to screw up your channel, right? So like, you got to be careful, like who you don't want to like try to have people subscribe to your channel that aren't going to watch it. So I don't want to promote it too much on this channel if people aren't going to watch it, right? But I'll go ahead and check it out. Are you doing like live coding kind of thing, or what are you doing, man? Tell me about it. I've caught a couple of these live streams. I think it was like this week or last week of these guys. They're like live stream vibe coding for hours. They got their sunglasses on, they're playing trance music, and they got Claude Code windows all around. So I think it's kind of cool. It's a little cheesy, but they've got like 44 live viewers or something, like almost 100 I've seen at some of these live streams, and they don't have huge channels either. So, the vibe coding thing is kind of fun on YouTube, if you ask me. So it could be something to consider, man, is do some vibe coding with AI on your YouTube channel and go live, go live for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it takes, and just kind of putz around, play some trance music or electronic music and build some stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay. So you started off as a SQL channel along with other data skill sets. Yeah. I mean, whatever you can do to help other people learn technology. There's always somebody out there who wants to learn tech, and there's probably thousands of them, whether or not they even ever apply it, that's another story, but, that's up to them, I guess. So, well, hey, we got 5 people here. I can show you guys some stuff that my daughter has printed, and this is a big print she did on her X Maker, which is like I'd say it's kind of one of these cheap Chinese, Bamboo Lab wannabe kind of companies, but it's pretty decent. It's a decent little printer. And so she printed this quilt kind of based pumpkin for my wife. And the cool thing is I helped her kind of realize she had orange filament to start. And if you notice here, there's a little line right there. I was saying, honey, you're going to run out of filament. She's like, oh, I didn't realize that. Luckily, I had other orange filament, but she changed it herself and continued the print. This was a 26-hour print, and it was successful. So I thought that was pretty cool. That little machine can do the job. Funny you mentioned the vibe coding thing. I just left a stream to join you. Yeah, the vibe coding community on YouTube is actually pretty neat. The knowledge transfer is priceless, honestly. Yeah, because they could be coding anything, and you could learn something totally new. Like, oh, here's the thing too. They're not coding. They're simply just prompting the AI agent. So in a sense, you're learning how they're building an application. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, unless they're like some crazy guy that's not telling you how they're prompting, but yeah. Yeah, the pumpkin's pretty cool. Then she did this one. This is like a shell kind of jewelry holder, with a bow. And this one had like all sorts of supports that broke off during the print, but it did turn off good. I mean, like nothing drooped or anything. She's got a couple of burrs here, but she ain't gonna deburr it. She just took it and went with it, She wanted me to show off her print, so I'm definitely gonna show them off. And then this was an early one, little horse. She's into horses. She's going horseback riding tomorrow morning as a Christmas present from her uncle. They're getting here early, and they're going to take her up to Allegan, something around there. There's some horse riding things, so that'll be fun. She's into horses. And then this is a cell phone holder. It's like a girl, and this was her first attempt to multicolor. So she paused the print. You can tell they're not even. So she just paused it like probably right here, here, and here, and then loaded different filament manually. This thing, you have to do everything manually. There's no automatic system. Like my printers are all automatic. I can set them and forget them. But she's got to actually manually adjust or take the filament out and put the filament in. And it works. That printer, I tell you what, for being a cheap, like $200 or $175 printer, that thing, it's doing the job. Let's put it that way. The fact that I'm technical and they aren't, I laugh sometimes. Yeah. However, I never launched before. I'm learning something new all the time. Yeah, dude, totally. And you have the advantage. You really do with vibe coding is you understand how networks work. You understand security. You understand how operating systems work. Probably how orchestration works more than me as a software engineer. You could do some damage with AI coding now that you know more than I do, to be honest. You know more about how these systems work, the integration points, and that's hard to grasp a lot of times. I don't even know all that stuff. I know more about the intricacies of coding, but that doesn't add value much these days. A little bit, it adds a little bit from if the AI screws up, I can fix it. I can say, dude, you just totally botched that whole feature. You need to do it this way. You need to change the code to where it's like a loop or not a loop, but you need to change it to where it's a multi-threaded thing. I want this thing to sync with this, right? Those are some things I might have the advantage on, but everyone's caught up to me as far as like speed of how they're going to deploy code. I mean, because I can't beat the AI, it's going to beat me. So yeah, this one is cool. This is a cool little multicolored print that she did. And then of course, she's in middle school, or I don't think she's into this as much. 6'7", 6'7". This was like one of her first prints. She was like in 5th grade. Now she's in 7th grade. 6'7" is not as cool in 7th grade, if you don't know. But I think deep down she still likes the concept. What's a medium-sized 3D printer cost? I'd say between $200 and $300. You can get a real nice printer for $300, $350, medium size. My printers are kind of the medium size, but they're like that top premier level, the Bamboo P2S. That one runs, I think it's what, $599, something around there, $600, I think. So 6'7", yeah. And then let's see, she printed a fidget, this little square thing with a ball inside, and you hold these two corners. That's pretty cool. My son plays with this all the time. He does like this fidget. Pretty cool. They got some gold and silver filament from their grandpa because grandpa wanted them to build a chess set. So I got a bunch of chess set pieces here. You know, the king, bishop. I mean, these are, for being that little cheap kid printer, these turned out really good. Let's see, here's the castle. Rook, is that the rook, right? If I remember right. Not too bad. Pawns turned out really, really sharp. And there was no deburring on any of this stuff, all just a clean print. Queen, here's the queen. Oops. Queen turned out pretty good. So, oh yeah, for 3D printers, a few grand, you're getting the top of the line. The best printer out there for like multicolor and it's big build plate is the H2C by Bamboo Lab. I mean, I think it's a good printer. I don't know if it's the best. It depends on what you're trying to do, but that one is 2,000, I think, or 2,100, something like that. So that's top of the line. So for $899 or 800, you're getting pretty good deal for the printers I got. So yeah, that's it for these prints. So kind of a cool little chess set that my daughter's printed. She's done. She printed gold and silver. My father-in-law was he worked for GM and he did resin prints for General Motors out in Flint. And so he's familiar with modeling these type of parts. So he's really into the 3D printing. He's always having his granddaughter make 3D prints and all that. So for him, mostly. Oh, I get it. The machine is a decent price. And then you get on the materials. Yeah, the materials, that's going to cost you too, the filament and all that. And this was, I forget this guy, Lilo, I think. Lilo and Stitch. Maybe, is this guy's name Stitch, I think? I think it is. So that was another print. And of course, they printed a Lego brick. And it does work with real Legos. I don't know. Yeah, these are both all 3D printed, but they do stick with regular Lego. So if you need like if you're missing a Lego part, you can print one. Don't forget about the A2L, cheaper price point, large format, multicolor. Yeah, I haven't looked into that one yet. I think that's over 300 millimeters, right? So that's something to consider too. The A2L, I didn't even think of that. That's a good little printer. I don't know the price of that one. Is that around 300? I'm gonna check here real quick. Bamboo. Bamboo. Where is it? A2L. Let's see here. Oh, that one's $569. So that one is pretty pricey. That comes with the filament loader as well. And that's multicolor too, right? It has 4 nozzles, I assume. Yeah, multicolor, multi-material printing. Okay. Hey, that's a good option too. So you got a middle of the road. Printers from Bamboo Lab. They go from what, the A1 Mini's $219, I think, all the way up to 2,000, right? So really, whatever kind of budget you have, you can find a 3D printer out there. And again, they're a lot of fun. You get to make cool stuff. Just get into creation. Just like software. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, 320. Yep. Yeah. Bigger than the A1, obviously. So my wife the other night, now I am having a video launch Sunday. I schedule my videos out Sundays and Tuesdays. So my wife the other night, she's going back to school. She's a teacher and she's decorating her room. And she wanted to showcase the wallet size prints of our kids. My son, he does soccer and baseball. So we've got wallet size photos for those two sports. And then my daughter has dance photos like ballet and contemporary dance. And so she wanted to show them off and she was shopping for like, I guess a couple hours, scrolling on the phone, looking for wallet size frames that hang because she wants to hang them on a bulletin board. She couldn't find any. So late, what was it, like 2 nights ago? She she was like, you need to make me this. You need to make me this because I can't find it. And, I think you can do it. So I went ahead and did that. So I made her this little wallet size frame. So you put the wallet photo in the frame, it slides in from the top. There's like a 1 millimeter slit there. Turned out pretty good. And then I'm doing engraving as well for Etsy. I've already put it up on Etsy as a product. Just a little, 2.5 by 3.25 inches. This is my AI generated Bella with a cute little puppy. And so I'm going to sell these for $19.99. So 4-pack. And I'm going all out on the colors. I've got 3 here that are just sitting here, but I'm doing 15 different colors. And on my Etsy site, you can pick one color for each frame. So it's kind of cool. You can combine whatever you want, maybe Christmas theme, red and green, or if you want gold. I've got gold here. Now this is a little bit different. This one doesn't have the little hanging part like this one, right? So I took the hanging part off and I just added a little stand for a desk, sitting on your office desk, that kind of thing. So again, the same colors, same format. So engraving and all that, not engraving, but 3D printing, personalization. So this one's black. That looks pretty good. I like the black. I'm just a fan of just that filament. It just looks nice. So, and then I got silver here for the holidays, gold and silver. That could be a decent seller. And then red and green, I think. I'll do some Christmas type of things. So I just had the same thing happen to me last night. Wife came home and said she needed a custom nameplate for a coworker. Got it to her today. Nice. Good job, Tom. That's awesome, man. Did you design it? What do you design in? Fusion or Blender? What's your modeling program? Mine's Blender. So that is kind of a cool thing about 3D printing and modeling. If you can do your own custom stuff, you can make gifts and just nice to have for people. You feel like being a nice person and making something cool for someone, you can do that. My wife wants me to make 10 of these, one for each colleague of hers in her 5th grade classroom. So I got to get on that. But I told her she's got to give me all the colors. So I don't know. I mean, it's 9 girls and 1 guy. So probably black for the guy. And then, I don't know, maybe pink and purple for the ladies there. Fusion 360. All right, cool. Well, hey, let's go get these prints. And I can make a change if I have to on these prints. If it doesn't fit. I don't know. I haven't even looked at them yet to see if they even turned out good. Hopefully they did. So let's see here. All right. I haven't had too much of a mess in my workshop, so it's kind of fairly cleaned up. That's not too bad. All right. This is the first print. This is a section of the shooting ramp. And so I've been changing this thing up. It's really tight, but essentially I want 2 springs to go in each side of these. And then through the center, there's like a shaft that, how do I explain this? I pull it back just like a pinball machine, pull it back, and the springs will go inside these 2 chutes. And then I let go, and then hopefully it'll just hit this. That's how it should work in theory. And I'm changing it up because I have it working in another print, but I want to try some new things to see if I can make it a better experience, if that makes sense. So I got some brim here. I'm gonna take this off. Okay, cool, that's done. And then this one. This is that shaft that goes in that shooting ramp. So this one's got supports on it because it's a wonky print. But hopefully I don't bust it. The trees are fine to bust, but I want to break the print. There. Okay. Might have to print another one. I don't know. I might have to shrink it a little bit. Because I was making some last minute changes to it, so I don't know if I double check my measurements on the CAD program. Because I'm still kind of experimenting with this area. All right, gotta get these tree supports off. Not too bad. Now I printed this one in PLA and this one in PETG, just because it needs a little more durability. Not that I really know if PETG is worse or not. I don't know. People say PETG is probably one of the stronger materials. Depends on what you're doing, right? All right, let's see here. A little bit of tree supports here. See, I need that multi-material, right? So I can not have it to deal with all these supports and all that. They're easier to get off if you have the multi-material printers. This printer I have is only a single nozzle, the P2S. So let's get this thing out. That's one thing too, Ant Dog, is if you get a 3D printer and you're really using it, you're going to have plastic nards all over the place. So have a location like a little like your garage or your basement where you can just let the plastic fly all over the place and then just vacuum it up. Because I don't know if I'd want this in my living room. I mean, I am nonstop 3D printing and there's plastic nards everywhere. That's why I bought a cheap little $30 shop vac vacuum featherweight one from Myers, because I was sick of stepping on all the plastic nards and then they'd follow me through the house, on my socks. So I try to vacuum a decent amount. All right, I think that's pretty decent for now. I can get rid of the other stuff later. All right, cool. Let's see here. All right, Tom says add some springs on the top side to damper the shooter. Okay. Interesting. Top side. Wow, top side. Maybe I'll show you what I've got going on, and then you'll kind of see what my direction was. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm not a mechanical engineer. So I'm just experimenting, Now, I did buy like this type of spring. That one there, it's a wonky kind of shape, but I just wanted to get it just because it's like a little looser. But I think I need more oomph to this spring, because I'll show you my current setup here in a minute. But let's see how this works. So there's the spring, and let's see if it even fits in these holes. Yeah, I think it does. I did measure that right. Let me see here. That's not easy to get in, but it is in. I might need to let's see here. I might need to rearrange it because this spring kind of tapers off. It gets smaller there. Let me see. I got another one here. I gotta get open. Let's see if this even fits around this. I didn't even measure this. Yeah, it does. What about this? Yeah, I got to go the other way. Okay, not a problem. All right, let me take this back out. Okay, put that back in. It's kind of a crazy setup I got going on here, I will say. Okay, I got one spring in. Not too bad. Get the other one in. Okay. All right, I got them both in. And then the idea is that this thing is going to go in here, in there, and then I can't put that in easily looking at the camera. So I'm going to depress the springs. There we go. I got one in. Got the other in. Okay. You see there? So the idea is you then let go, and then you got your ball spring that's going to push it forward. This might work. Okay. So I'll show you the overall effect. I still have to do a video on this, but I'll get around to it. So So I've got my flippers here, right, on both sides. And then a little ball shooter that's new on the bottom. I didn't have before. And then, it's kind of hard to show this, but this is the same kind of mechanism here, right? But this is just a different version 2. But it's the same setup here. It's just I wasn't sure if I liked the springs, how they were, but, we'll see. This is really angled up. I'm not going to be able to get that ball up there. But, yeah, in theory, right? Oh, you can't. Oh, I got to go this way. There we go. Here, let me hide that. Got too much stuff going on in the camera. All right, here we go. There's the ball. Right. All right. It'll go all the way if it's like at a 7-degree angle. But this one I think might give a little bit more juice to it, right? It's they're bigger springs, a little more flexibility. So I wanted to try that. So I've got, I'll explain what I've got going on here. So this piece of plexiglass just slides in here. Oh, it's a little 3mm gap right here at the top. This is just another test piece I had. It doesn't have this gap there. It's a throwaway piece, but it works to combine it to show the total length of this pinball machine. But it's got one playfield section of 100mm, then 200. And this piece connects the 2 black pieces. And then there's a 100mm piece. Same thing for the shooter ramp. Now this thing's a little wide. I might actually create a sub track here with that'll mount to these play fields. Or I might shrink this down. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it. It's not easy to figure this out. I think it'll work though. I think that I'll be able to position something here to where this will be a tight shooter ramp. And then I have a hole up here on the upper field that'll, turn into here. And then this is where all the fun is, right? This will be where all the action is. I want to build like those little, I don't know what they're called, the little ramps that you shoot up and then you twirl and go down back to the flipper. I want to do all that. So lots to do. It's probably a year-long project, but it kind of gives me something to be inspired with and something to use for YouTube for content, because it's hard to think of like 3D printing content, and I don't know. I just want something to do, something I can be kind of proud of. Leave something for the kids, a pinball machine, right? 3D printed. My kids, though, they this thing still. They get annoyed with the flipper noises because it is kind of loud a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, pinball makes noises. Maybe they just haven't played enough pinball. I don't know. So yeah, you said add some springs on the top side to damper the shooter. Yeah, I don't know. Explain that to me, what you meant by that, if you're still on. But yeah, you can let me know in the comments too if you want to explain something too, like, in any of my videos. I'll be doing a video on that pinball machine pretty soon here. I try to do like a video updating a small section, like what I did, how I did it, why I did it this way. And then I get comments usually from people, either saying, oh, that was garbage, dude. You need to fix that, stuff like that. So, but I'm going to test one thing. Hey, what's up? Cosmin has shrimp tanks. How you doing, man? Things going good? So the white part doesn't slam into the black part. Oh, yeah. I was going to do that. I designed that in my first iteration there, but I've got such a tight space here. I need to figure out what to do with that, how to do that. I suppose I could embed a spring. I could embed a spring inside this shaft here, right there, right? That might be not a bad idea. I kind of like that idea. Right, because you hear that snap there, right? Yeah, because I want it to kind of bounce back and forth. Like a pinball machine, when you pull that thing back, it kind of like bounces back and forth, right? So, but I think this design is pretty decent. It kind of holds the ball there, ready for you to shoot it. Obviously I'll have walls here on each side so the ball doesn't go anywhere. Um, but lots more to build. Things going well here, getting ready for the weekend. Yes. Yeah, me too, man. We don't have any major plans. My daughter's going horseback riding. This is one of her 3D printed horses. She she's really into horses. So she's doing that tomorrow with her uncle. So she's looking forward to that. But other than that, my job is to deal with my furnace. Okay, my furnace is icing up. Um, I could have it serviced, and maybe they would be able to fix it. But even the last time I had it serviced, they were like saying, "Oh, we can't even work on that because it's like, you know, a Freon line that they can't do anything with or something like that." I don't know. These guys were kind of, I don't know, BSing me at the end of the day, I think last time they came. But these furnaces are like, one of them's 20 years old, one of them's 12 years old. And well, both the AC units are 20 years old. So the AC is probably shot. So low in coolant. Yep, probably. And this coolant apparently is like um old or something like that, or like they can't sell it anymore. They can't even buy it, you know? It's one of those things. So it's 20 years old and it's time to upgrade finally. It's gonna suck though, man. It's gonna be a $25,000, $30,000 bill. It's gonna suck, man. I was saving up for it though. Let me see here. Yeah, the old Freon can no longer be used and is no longer made. Newer Freon needs different lines. True story. Yep, exactly. That's what they told me last time. They were like, "Yeah, when this goes, man, you got to replace the whole thing." I'm like, "Yeah." So I was starting to save up money for it. I was paying extra on my mortgage, like $2,000 a month, and then we started thinking to ourselves, we better start saving up for these furnaces because they're going to go, which we were correct. So I started saving like 2 months ago. I got a couple grand saved, but that's not enough. I'm just going to I might finance it for like whatever they offer, like 2 or 3 years. And then I'll just pay it off early. I'll pay it off in like a year or two. So no big deal. It is what it is. That's why you got to work, right? That's why you got to have a day job. You can't quit your day job for YouTube like some people do. But 25K is a lot. Is this like a 20,000 square foot house? No, it's not. It's probably around 5,000 square feet. But one furnace does the upstairs, and then the other furnace does the main floor and this basement, I guess. There's this little thermostat right there. Behind that wall, there's like this complex controller with other valves that open and shut. I think they're called damper valves. So there's like this electronic motor, this Honeywell motor that opens and closes. When that thermostat says, "Hey, I need heat," it opens that damper to these registers and closes the upstairs one or something like that. Yeah, it's not cheap at all. But I knew what I was getting into when I upgraded to this house, and I was like, "Yep, this is going to cost me for sure." So the way I look at it is, the money, as far as the way I think about money is it's opportunity cost that I lose out on, like, because I can't use that money for making money on interest if I were to sit that money in the bank, right? And I can't use that money for the stock market. So it's a lost opportunity at the end of the day. That's a wealthy man. No, I mean, I wish I was wealthy. To me, wealth is when you have more income than expenses, as far as like passive income, right? Like dividends and things like that. That's when I will consider myself wealthy. Right now, I'm almost there. I'm getting there, right? But I'll never be rich. I don't know what rich is. I mean, what do you got to have $10 million or something? Yeah, it is. I have a 4,500 square foot. We have 2 units. One replaced with $7K for us a few years ago. Look into it. Yeah, I'm debating on. I got quoted 2 years ago, and I think it was going to be around 25K. We'll see what I get quoted this time. But I'm debating on like doing a 2-stage AC versus a single stage. I could save at least probably $1,000 right there. I don't think I can save much on the furnaces. One is like a 60,000 BTU, and the other's an 80,000 BTU. I don't know if that's overkill. The 80,000 one is the one that does the main floor and the basement, but 2,000 is a doable house payment. Where are you at? My house payment's at 3,300 ish, something like that. What's sad is I was at $1,200 a month in 2021. I was at $1,200 a month, and I probably could have had that house paid off and been sitting in it, but it was small. It was I would say, a little above a starter home. It was just a 3-bed, 2-bath. Man, that $1,200 was nice, but now it's $3,100, and the property taxes in the last 4 years have gone up quite a bit. But I do have enough, like if I had to sell some stocks, 401k a little bit, not 401k, but my IRA, I could pay it off if I wanted to. I don't really want to, though. I don't want to get out of the markets. So I've been in 5K square foot homes. That's large. Yeah. I mean, I would say for Michigan, it is large, but the basement adds a lot more square footage. Like this basement is probably 2,000 square feet. So I got 2,000 down here and probably 3,300 upstairs above grade. And so a lot of other states, probably like Texas, 5K square foot is big because it's all above ground. Here in Michigan, you usually get like my last house was 1,100 square feet underground, and the upstairs was 1,500. So that was almost 3,000 square feet, my last house, and that was a small starter home. So you get a lot in Michigan for bang for your buck when it comes to square footage. But why replace furnaces as well? I assume your burners are still fine. That's a good point. I don't know. I'll have to ask the people who quote. We'll see what they say. I did just replace on one of the furnaces. What is it called? The heat exchange. So it's brand new. So that might be a way to go. It's just, here's the problem though, is if I just replace the AC and then next year the furnaces go, then they're going to have to come back in and do that. I guess it's not too much of a burden, I suppose. I wonder though if the ACs like a Carrier would be compatible with a Bryant, which is what I have, these Bryants. So I don't know how furnace and AC units are compatible, if that makes sense. Either way, though, I mean, eventually I am going to have to replace even the furnaces at 20 years old. One of them's 20 years old. The other one's 12 years old. So I suppose I will have to replace them. I have one part in the furnace. It's like a sensor or something. It like broke off of part of the like motherboard area, a piece of plastic. And I just took a zip tie and zipped it up. I don't know. I didn't feel like really having another service call, but yeah, it is what it is. That's where I'm at now. 1,200 square feet for 8,000 a month. 2-bed, 2-bath, old 1960s brick house. You mean 12,000 square feet? Let me refine that. Is that really 1,200 for 8,000 a month? That's like Manhattan level there. I got a heat pump, AC, and heat gas package. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen the heat pumps, but those are pricey. I think the heat pump was pretty expensive for Michigan, at least what I got quoted. Or maybe, was that the AC system that was heat pump or something? I forget, man. It's been a while since I looked at the quote. Have you replaced the hot water heater already? Not yet, not in this house. It looks pretty new. But yeah, I have replaced one in my old house. That was kind of a pain. I did that myself with my dad. That was not fun. That was not worth the effort. I'd rather just pay someone. I don't know what they charge to replace one. What, $500 probably? But those things are heavy because they still have water in them even after you drain them, and they are heavy in general. Oh, $850 a month. Okay, yeah, not $8,050. I'm like, where do you live, Jack? No, $850 a month for 1,200 square feet. That's pretty good, man. Yeah, 850 a month. Man, people don't have that these days, At least people buying these days, you're not going to find 850 a month. So don't lose out on that one. Don't move. You probably got real cheap property taxes too. If that's included, 850 plus, does property tax include in that? That's pretty nice. Yeah, my 1250 a month at my old house, or 1200 a month, included my property taxes. So my mortgage was, I think, $906 a month or something like that. I mean, we did take some equity from that home and put it into this home, but I've gotten this house down. Let's see. I financed 465, which I know. I never thought in my life I'd buy a $500,000 house, but I did. I financed 465 or 440. No, I financed 440 and I'm down to 370 now. So in 5 years, I've managed to take out $70,000 in equity. So I've been putting extra on it quite a bit. I'm like 3 or 4 years ahead of the mortgage schedule, the amortization schedule. So been in this house for 8 years. That's a good amount of time. Hey, NetVentive, how you doing, man? How's your night going? Making anything new? I'm making new frames. This is my new product. I'm doing 4 for $20, little tiny wallet size frames. This is the desk version. And then this is the hanging version. This was something my wife wanted. So pretty simple prints, doing 4 for 20. We'll see if I get a sale here or there. So I know she wants to give them to all her teacher friends. So that'll be a free sale for all them. It's all good though. These only take, I don't know, 25, 30 grams of material. So 4 for $20, it's 100 grams, 110 grams of PLA. So maybe $4 or $5, maybe $3, something like that. Not even, probably $2 to make these. So we'll see if I can sell them for $20. We'll see. So that's what's new with me. I just got this print done. This is my shooting ramp. This is a new version. And Tom had a good suggestion. He suggested that I place a spring right here on the shaft so that when I hit the top here, this top stopper, it won't be a loud hit, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that might help for sure. Or I could do TPU. Like maybe print a TPU here. I would like to try TPU. I could do, you know what I could do? This little spot, this little wall here that's stopping the shooting, what do you call it? The ball shooter. I could just make this smaller and then just take a little TPU, like little square, and wrap it around this part. That might work well. I'm actually going to do that. That'll be my next project. Yeah, that'll be fun. Jack says, I'm 3D printing prints in the Prince font. A local lady does resin art. She makes molds from my 3D prints for her resin work. That's cool. That's great that you're working with someone local. That's awesome, man. Resin art. Does she paint it, I assume, like real detailed, right? Makes a resin print and then just paints it for a customer, probably on Etsy. So, hey, by the way, Ant Dog, he took your advice and he's doing a GitHub website for his, I think he's doing like some a tech channel and website and all that. So that's pretty cool that you showed us that last time. Cool. Yeah, I was just showing people the prints that my daughter did earlier. She's been doing prints like all the time with her little X maker. This one took 26 hours. She waited 26 hours for this one to get done. She even changed the filament halfway up because she ran out. Pretty proud of her for persevering and doing a 26-hour print. I don't know how long this one took. It took maybe like probably 10 or 15 hours. It's a little seashell jewelry holder or knickknack holder. So. And then she did, let's see here. Jack says, not a resin print. She pours clear resin in the mold. Okay, gotcha. That's cool. And then it hardens up, I assume. And then my daughter did this little cute birdie ice cream cone today. She actually paused the print right here and then changed to yellow. So she likes doing the multicolor. That's one of her favorite things to do. She did this one, which is a cell phone holder, little ladies, and she just changed the filament as this print went. I think it was probably printed like that, right? So she probably paused it here and went up. So yeah, she's getting pretty good at 3D printing. She was doing modeling with Tinkercad on the internet with school, but then like in 6th grade, they stopped doing 3D printing. I think 7th grade, she's going into 7th grade. I think she's doing some design class, but I don't know if they do 3D printing. So we'll see if they do any modeling. She got put into the financial literacy class, so thumbs up for that. I'm happy about that. So now, as far as this print, I was going to model and make some adjustments and start reprinting on my printer that I'm showing here, but I don't think I have to because I was able to fit this all together, the shaft with these springs. I think that's going to work. Honestly, I do. Here, I'll get this little piece off here. I don't know if I probably didn't show everyone this. I'll show it again. I've got the pinball machine, making progress on it. I've had to go back and forth on these flippers quite a bit. I had to take off like another 0.5 millimeter because occasionally they would stick to the play field. So I'm just having to really dial that in. But not too bad. I mean, that's pretty durable if you ask me. It's all mechanical. There's no electronics, obviously. I thought about doing electronics, but man, it looked like a nightmare dealing with MOSFETs and all these other embedded 32-bit boards, which I might still have to do electronics, no doubt, for this thing to be a reality. I still want to do lights and bumpers and things that push the ball out. I'd love to do all those, but the flippers, from my perspective, I feel like mechanical was the way to go. Now, the only thing is with this pinball machine is I wonder, I do and I don't. I mean, this ball, it fits between these two flippers and this, whatever, this ball return. I don't know if I could have made the flipper smaller, but I would have liked to because then I could have had a ramp go a little bit further this way on both sides. So I think the ramps that return the ball to the flipper is going to have to be just kind of skinny in general. I don't know. We'll see. Again, this is all just an experiment. I don't know how well this is going to play, but we're going with it. We're going to see what happens. But it does. Let me see here. Let's see. It's hard to do when it's not sitting on a table. It's just showing that. There it goes. Not too bad. I've got a little hole up here, but it won't fall in that hole, but that's okay. So I don't have a showable like pinball machine yet. I'm still working towards that. I just don't want to print these parts. These parts are so big. These sections are, what do you call it? 300 grams of material. They take 12 hours each. So I'm being very cautious trying to print tons and tons of material. I'm trying to just print small subsections of things. So that's what I've been working on. And this was the second iteration of the shooter, the ball shooter, I guess you would call it. I think this will work. I forgot to put an alignment here. There's a little alignment, little part there. That little shaft there. So I got to make an alignment on that so it doesn't go all over the place. But overall, I think it'll work. So pretty happy with that. Oh, the other thing I was going to test, I forgot. I am going to get one other part because I do want to test one thing. I have some other spare play fields and shooting ramps that I can just kind of do a little test with. So I got my springs here. Those are just some various springs I had to test. All right, here's that. Here's that. I'll bring this up too. All right. Oh. All right. One thing I needed to test was this little hole here. Here, actually, I'm going to go back to OBS and just hide this because there. Then I'm not having to fight that camera. I do like the fact that I can share the camera if I'm doing an actual 3D print. I just can't think of anything to print off the top of my head. If I had a job, if I had an order, I'd be printing an order, which I had a return the other day on Etsy. She's shipping the product back, which is fine. She's supposed to order 2 more prints, so hopefully she orders them, and hopefully they're right. She ordered the completely wrong wall plate. She ordered a Decora when she needed a duplex, and she ordered the wrong orientation. But it is what it is. If she buys 2 more and she doesn't return them, then I'll make a little bit of money. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, this part here. This is where the ball goes from one side to the shooter ramp over here. So, and this ledge here was just a little low, so occasionally the ball would not fully come over. I want it to be smooth and always fall into the shooting ramp here. So I've got a couple just little test prints that hopefully I can at least, just a little bit of testing here can probably work it. Oh, see, it's a good thing I tested this because it's too high. Yep, just a little bit. So I got to lower this just slightly. Even though in the model it looks flush, but in reality, after you print it, it's not. And I can probably, let me see if I can show. Yeah, you see it there? You see how let me see if I can get right here. That little ledge is too high now. So I got to lower it about 1 millimeter, I would say. Yeah. But I'm going to get there. I want to get it perfect, perfect. So I'm going to do another test print with this. Hey, guess what? Let's just do it, right? Let's go ahead and go into Blender, and I'll go ahead and adjust that little ledge down by 1 millimeter. This is the return ramp, the ball return ramp. So I had it as 2 separate parts. This was the first one. This was just my first, let's just get a little angle and the ball will roll into that hole that I just showed you guys. But then I wanted something to go on top of the ball return, so that way the ball goes here and then goes down and comes out, right? And I had it as 2 parts, but they just weren't lining up perfectly. So I just blended them together, and now it's 1 part, and it's less to deal with from a printing perspective, because now I have this huge bill of materials. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and share. Let me see what I have up here. Okay, I have Blender. I showed this last time to you guys. Share screen. 1 second. Cancel. 1 second. All right. I just wanted to make sure nothing personal was up on my computer, like, passwords and stuff like that. All right. So there's Blender. You always got to be careful in a live stream, sharing your screen. Where's Blender at? There it is. Okay. All right. I got to present it. That's right. I got to add to stage. There we go. Okay. So as you see here, this is my shooting ramp, or ball shooter, I guess you could put it. So this got really complex in here. And this is that little tiny spot here. And what that is a cutout. It's called Cylinder Fix. I need to rename it. Where is it at here? got so many things. Okay, here it is. I'm actually going to rename that to ball return something. Ball return cutout. Okay, so that's going to move up here. Ball return cutout. Okay, so I'm going to show that. As you can see, showing and hiding. So that's the part that I'm cutting out. So I need to make the size. It was 25 by 25. So what I did was I lowered the size to raise this up because I'm just adjusting the X. This thing is rotated. So I'm going to go up another millimeter. So we're going to go to 23.7. There we go. You see, it just slightly went down here, and we can kind of zoom in. I think this thing is still thinking. There we go. All right, so let's zoom in here. See, and I bet you it's because the shooting ramp here, this guy, I think is not fully flushed down, even though in the model, it's not connected. It's just I'm overlaying it on top of the cabinet so that I can get a perspective of where things need to be positioned. So this is not perfect in the sense of how it really is going to behave in the real world, because this playfield gets attached and pushed down. But I think a millimeter will do it. But again, you just got to test, right? And this time I'll just test a really small sliver because, I mean, I could wait to test it, but I just want to know if I'm done with that portion there. So now I'll select this file, export, STL, and then lower cabinet version 3. I always keep new versions. I'm filling up this NAS drive, I suppose. All right, so let's go ahead and share. Let me see if I can. I gotta go back. You always got to go back to. Let's see here. No. Okay, now let's share. Oops. Nope. I guess I got to remove it. Stop screen. Okay. I don't know. I'm still not that good with this StreamYard thing. I'm getting better little by little. Let me see here. I think it's right here. Oh, here it is. Yeah. All right. So I'll share this guy. All right. So let's go ahead and start printing this bad boy. Now, I don't have this on my camera that's connected via OBS Studio, but maybe I'll get both connected eventually. I only had time to do one. So there's that little cabinet section. So delete that. File, import, cabinet version 3. Cool. And then, of course, see, that's the full cabinet. This one will take me 12 hours, so I don't do that. I just go ahead and start chopping away at this bad boy. So I only need to go that high. So I'm going to keep part B. There we go. Then another cut. $90 degrees. There we go. And then chop this bad boy. Probably go all the way to. I need to keep 2 of those tabs so I can at least just quickly test that. So I want to keep purple. There we go. And then get rid of even more here. I don't know if this is how a lot of other people engineer, but for me, I just take little baby steps here and there. Okay, there we go. Keep that one. And then, yeah, I think, is that enough to test it? Did I screw this up? Oh, man. Dang it, I screwed this up. I hate that when you mess something up. You have to do it all over again. Sorry about that, guys. I'll check the chat, make sure no one's saying anything. Okay, you guys are seeing me mess things up. It happens, you know. All right, now I'm seeing. Oh, yep. See, I did have it messed up. I'm just gonna go to there. I'll go a little higher. All right, perform that cut. Cut again. I'm just gonna keep a second version of this just to, in case I want to play around with this spring action here. Oh, oops, I hit slice. Dang it. I didn't mean to hit slice. I meant to just perform the cut. There, that's what I wanted. All right. Yeah, this is engineering for you. You always are doing experimentation on things. All right. There we go. Now I can see the actual difference there. Let me make sure I got that side good. All right, that's good. Yeah, it's an hour print. Now, what does that take? Like probably 100 grams, 38 grams. It's a little quick test print. So good. I'm gonna have to get more black PLA because I'm burning through this stuff. Now with the frames that I'm doing, I'm going to continue. Let's see here. Control Z. Yeah, I screwed up. Yeah, I should have done that. I always learn watching how others approach problems. Thanks. Yeah, I know. It's like everyone has their own little ways of doing things, you know. And yeah, we all learn from just seeing how people struggle with things or how people approach a problem, you know. So my problem there was just a simple, 1 millimeter adjustment that I'm doing. I could have waited for me to make more changes, but it's Friday night. I'm not going to go in and make a ton of little changes and then test print it. But normally I'll do like maybe 3 to 4 changes and then run a test print, make sure everything fits the way I like it, and then I'll move on to the next challenge of the day, right? Or challenge of the week. That's kind of way I'm approaching this is I'm challenging myself to a different section of the pinball machine. Right now I'm in the shooting ramp section, which I'm surprised I even got to this point. I'll be honest. Like I didn't think I'd get this whole ball return ramp finished. I didn't even think I'd have the shooting ramp even pulling back and then letting go and pushing the ball forward. I didn't think I'd be at this point this week, but if you put in the effort and you just break down these little tasks, little by little by little, things get done. And it's surprising how much can get done if you're just willing to spend that time, whether it's even an hour. Even an hour. Most of the time I get this pinball stuff going around 9:30 at night after I get the kids down. I'll spend an hour on it, maybe an hour and a half. I'll get like 2 prints because I got 2 printers. I'll try to think of like 2 things to print to test a certain scenario. So that's kind of what my flow is. Printing the whole cabinet, that is something I got to really be ready for and like say to myself, okay, I've made, 10 changes. All right, is this worth printing the full cabinet section? And sometimes it is, because now I'm at a point now where I want to get a feel for now I'm getting to a point where I want to get a feel for how big this is. Does this work together? So I had to print the play field, which was another long print. I got to have this whole thing printed to even see if this shooting ramp would even get the ball up to the top, right? If I set it down at a 7-degree angle, which it does. And then I tried different size stainless steel balls. This one is a 5/8 inch. I also have 1/2 inch over in the workshop. I think I'm going with the 5/8, but we'll see. I don't know if the playability will be better with the heavier ball. I think it will. It just feels like pinball machines I like the heavier balls for some reason. I think they kind of move slower on the play field. I think that sometimes those little tiny balls, they fly around. But I do have to make a decision because the things I build, this ball has to fit in every single thing, right? I can't build small apparatuses for the 1/2 inch ball and not support the 5/8 inch ball. So we'll see. Lots of things to consider. I'll show you another thing I built for my company. Oops, there goes the ball. See, when it's flat, it's gonna roll. So my company, we sell these touch screens. So I put my software on these touch screens. So we source these from a vendor overseas, no big deal there. But it's got this really weird backplane that can't mount to a VESA mount. It's just, I don't know how they designed it, right? So so my task was to, and I just volunteered for this task because we need to sell these things. This is how I make a living. I don't know if we're going to use this, but so I did a 75 by 75 VESA mount on the back of this piece here. I designed this piece in Blender. And then it's just got a little Cat 5 cable coming out the side. Maybe I should unscrew it. Maybe I could show it off. Maybe I'll get a screwdriver if I can find one. Let's see here. I have really like the feel of a 19 millimeter metal ball. Good size for pinball. Is that the standard size, the 19 millimeters? I think it is. Is it? I don't know if that's the standard size. But this hole right here, this one, I expanded it to exactly 19 millimeters. So maybe I could fit a 19 millimeter ball through this. Might be a little tight. I did have to expand it because I wanted to at least fit that Lego ball in that space, which I have here. So as long as it fits that Lego pinball, I think I'm good for a miniature desktop size pinball machine. Oh, we're getting going there, getting our print going. Yeah, there's this little white ball. So those are the 1/2 inch ones. I think this white one is probably a 5/8 maybe. I didn't even compare it to the stainless steel ones. What was I looking for? What did I come in here for? Oh, a screwdriver. Just gonna unscrew it. Yeah, this will work. There we go. Yeah, I like the heavier ones for a pinball machine. So yeah, I was 3D modeling for work. That's a first. Now there is a little bit of a I don't know if I call it a conflict of interest or a synergy that I'm trying to do here. I'd like to get the job to actually 3D print all these pieces of housings, which I'm not scared of actually telling my boss. I have a LLC. He's a businessman. He's a CEO. He understands. We've all got, our little dreams of our small businesses. But we'll see. I don't know if they're even going to want this design because it's a little thick, if you ask me. But for what this thing is, you'd have to have it do this because this touch screen is so weird. Get this screw out. It's got these locking screws, which are kind of nice, but if there's no conflict, there's no interest. I guess the conflict would be like, oh, you're printing these possibly on company time, because I'd have to run these things if they order, let's say 200, right? I'd have to run my printers during business hours and pull them off, but it is for the business. I'm trying to make sure that we make sales. because they don't have anyone making these things. We have no solution to mount this to an actual desk mount or a wall mount. And I'm like, guys, we got to get this done. So I'm just going to make a model. So there's this plate here comes with this touch screen, and it slides into the back of this touch screen. I can't remember which way, but yeah, there's like a little slot there, 2 slots there that this metal piece slides into. And so, but this metal piece doesn't fit to a standard VESA mount, right? Even though I guess you could do some holes here, but the problem is you can't stick the Cat 5 with a VESA mount, right? Here's the VESA mount. Here's the Cat 5 jack. It blocks it, right? So I have to have some apparatus that I can still plug a Cat 5 jack in here. This is PoE, power over Ethernet. This powers this computer. And so this is the part I need to make an adapter for. So that's what I made, was just a little adapter. And it's got to be deep enough because this Cat 5 cable can't be bent in half. So I had to come up with this little adapter thing. And what's cool is I had to tap the M4 screws for the VESA mount, but these other screws, which is an M3, I didn't have to tap it. I've got the exact thread and length for these M3 screws that I'm unscrewing right now. And it works. It's actually working really well because I'm having to unscrew all these screws. None of this is stripped. All right, cool. There we go. It's so good that I can't even get off. There's that plate, right? It's held on by 4 screws, these little M3 screws, right? And then there's the 4 holes there, right? That plate attaches to. And then the Cat 5 cable comes out the side there. You know, it is what it is. Sometimes I don't know what alternative option they would have, but we'll see. The product manager that's working on the project, I gave him the STL. I said, go ahead and make a print. He's got a 3D printer at home. And I don't know. It'll be annoying if he like sends us off to a print, what do you call it? A printer warehouse, not a printer warehouse, a printer. Why am I forgetting the name? Just a 3D printing farm. That's what I was thinking of, a 3D print farm. And then they charge like more than what I would charge, you know, so we'll see. I'm not going to cause a big fuss over it because at the end of the day, we need to sell these in order for me to make my salary. But, you know, we'll see what happens there. It could be an opportunity. Get the kid to run the printer. Exactly. You know, my daughter, she'll go down and take one of these off, deburr it, you know, do a little tap. Hey, that's a good idea. Honestly, I probably should. Now she's in school, but I think this would be a good product for my daughter to tap each one of these holes manually, right? So she could learn how to do that. I think she could do that. She's 12, as long as she keeps it straight, right? And then maybe even assemble this on this. That could be a good little job, you know? Those are the things we gotta come up with to raise our kids right, you know, to get them to be, I don't know, successful in the world and actually do a job. Because apparently no one wants to do a job these days, according to the internet. Even though I know that it's probably not true. Most people realize you still have to work for a living. But yeah. So that was my project for the week, my little 3D printing project. I did have a smaller version, but then when I tried to plug the cable in and I had to bend it like almost the whole way. I was like, nope, it's got to go deeper. It is what it is. Now, this sits on like a, like we do sell a desk stand that swivels and stuff like that. It's kind of like a swiveling TV monitor that you mount to the wall, but this one just sits on the desk. So in theory, you would barely even see this, only if you were looking at it from the side. If you're looking at it from the front, you're just going to see the touch screen. So I don't know. It might work. We'll see what happens, but it's a fun little print. Nah, most people are lazy bums. You're probably right, honestly. Most people are. Yeah, we won't get into that, but they are. I don't know, man. People just don't want to work hard for a living anymore. I get it. Like, there's a lot of jobs that suck, that are mundane and boring. I understand that, but at some point in your life, you're just gonna have to work one of those jobs. I did those jobs, I don't know, 25 years ago, but then I went, got an education, and now I have a job that is creative. That's why I went and got an education. I went and tried to learn skills that I could do creative type of work, right? Software engineering is very creative for the most part. I mean, I guess there are some software jobs that are very, I guess, not creative. There could be some, but I've never really had too much of a problem finding challenges and work that I enjoy doing what I do. So, and now maybe I'll do a little 3D modeling. So, but there's work in that. You know, this job, I was up till 2 in the morning for my day job, my 9 to 5 job, quote unquote 9 to 5. There's no such thing as a 9 to 5 job, even in the corporate world. You know, you have to perform, you have to deliver parts, products, features to sell at the end of the day. We can't sell these touchscreens if we don't have something like this, right? So I started at like 10 at night, I think, or 11 at night. After I edited a YouTube video, I was like, I got to get this done. This has got to get done. We at least got to get the ball rolling. You know, whether or not we use this one is besides the point. I stayed up to 2 in the morning. I started the print at 2 in the morning. It was ready in the morning for my product manager, and I showed him a print, and then he was like, "Ooh, can I get the print, or can I get the STL?" I was like, "Sure, here you go." You know, that's being a team member. You know, I'd rather like say, "Hey, I'd like to get the job," you know, to print these, being selfish. But at the end of the day, I can't be selfish. I work with other people that make a living as well, and I don't want us to all lose our jobs. Not that we would, but we could lose revenue. And when you lose revenue, you lose your job. That's the reality of things. I already know that because half my company got disbanded. The company dissolved a year ago, and I got lucky by this company that bought me. They bought the company for pennies on the dollar, and I made it through. So once you go through a layoff like that, you kind of realize, hey, you got to get the job done. Now, the reasons why we dissolved are not really because of what I did. Obviously, I got brought over by my new company for a reason, because I know how to deliver. But where was I going with that? But yeah, there was other reasons why the company was not making money. Brent, I got good news today. Getting my head injections by TBI doctor cleared me to medically drive personal vehicles. Okay. Been almost 3 years. Wow. Well, congrats, man. All right. That's great, man. Do you feel better? Does like things cleared up from those injections? So that's good, man. Good for you. I'm glad to hear that. Be careful, you know, be safe. Make sure you got someone with you when you're driving in case like something goes wrong. Take your time, you know, but that's great, man. And that's a huge thing. Freedom, having freedom, independence. That's a good thing, man. You got to be able to do that, you know, in your life. Do they not make like 90-degree Ethernet plugs so you don't need to print such deep of a box? Yes, they do. And I've suggested that, but we've had problems with them in the field. We had another product that had, we used a 90-degree, but they had issues. But I don't know, maybe they need to relook at that, maybe a different vendor with the 90-degree Ethernet cable, but it would still be somewhat thick. Probably just the size of this hole would be, I expanded it probably about the size of this hole last night, my second version of it. So yeah, I don't know. You know, my product manager who's in charge of like this whole product, essentially the one I gave the STL file to, he's going to have the final say in it. So we'll see what he comes up with. I try to let people do their job. He has a job. He's a product manager. I'm simply here to help in any way I can. I'm going to be a team member. And I'm going to tell my boss, the CEO, like, hey, I made this for my partner, my business partner, the product manager, to help him out, because that's what you got to do in business. It might be me kissing up in a sense, but I've learned you got to do that sometimes. You got to sell yourself and say, hey, I'm being a team player here. I gave him this STL. I made it. I printed it at my house. Here you go. Do with it as you please. I don't care. Yeah, I've been getting better. Good. Have to work with child support now to legally get my license back. Legally get my license back. For driving? Okay. So some child support, why would that have anything to do with driving? That's weird. I don't know much about the legal laws of stuff that's going on with that, like divorce type of stuff you're saying? But no, that's good. That's one step, man. Like I'm talking about this pinball machine. One step to getting to that next step where you want to be, Agent A. Hey, nice to see you on the stream, man. Welcome. Yeah, this was the first time I've experienced a layoff, and it lit a flame under my tail. That's why I'm building and shipping so much. It's a stat that says Claude will make 50,000 millionaires by 2030. You're right. Honestly, the people who are adopting AI, like seriously adopting it and building businesses, they're going to be millionaires, 100%. They're going to disrupt the incumbents, 100%. Like every company that does not adopt AI is going to get destroyed by margin compression. That's going to happen because if my company has, let's say, this is a perfect example. I'll give you the example. So this guy, my boss, they bought my company, right, for pennies on the dollar. They cut the staff literally in half, I think. And they're running the same company with 50% of the headcount. And with AI, we aren't hiring anyone. We have no need to hire anyone. We are getting more done today than we ever did with that company. So what does that mean? That means we can keep prices low because our margins we are profitable now. We have profit now. We are not losing money by any means. So our margins are healthy now. As long as we're smart and we don't hire people, we can undercut the competition or keep the prices low. If the competition is lazy and they don't adopt AI to gain efficiencies in the business, they will increase prices, right? They'll continue to increase prices because they don't lay off people. They don't keep a lower staff. That's just the reality of business. It's cutthroat at the end of the day. Everyone's trying to steal market share. And the only way to steal market share is price. If you're doing a large job, like we sell to universities, and if they're doing like 100 rooms, 300 rooms, that adds up, $50 on each component. Let's say it's this little touch screen. If we're able to keep our prices lower by $50 with 100 rooms, that adds up. What's that? $5,000, something like that. Now we're in budget, right? For let's say some budget for some university. So that's something to consider. AI is going to make a lot of millionaires. This is your tech channel. Agent A. Okay. Agent AJ001. Okay. All right, cool. Do you want me to show your channel? Let me know. Some people feel comfortable doing that. Again, I don't want to push people to a channel if they're not going to watch it, right? So I'm very cautious of that. YouTube is real finicky. If you get people that are sent to your channel and they subscribe but they never watch the videos, it hurts you in the algorithm. So driving makes money to pay child support. Gotcha. Yes, that makes sense, right? It makes you eligible to potentially have Uber Eats or anything like that. Is that kind of what that's hinting at, I think? Uber Eats or Uber, or what is the other one? DoorDash or whatever. Oh, you want me to show you? Okay, Agent AJ001. Let's check it out. Let me open up YouTube. Agent. Oops. Oops. I had a video up. Agent AJ001. There it is. Cool. Hey, you got 220, man. Not too bad. All right, let's check it out. This is purely for visibility of my tech skills. Hey, that's awesome. And you know what? Your tech skills are going to improve because you're going to teach people about these skills, which improves your skills because you kind of have to understand the content really well, which I am not the best at. I'll be honest. I'm not the best 3D printer. I hack it, guys. I am a hack. Let's see here. I gotta go back here and present. Add to stage. I've been at it for 3 years. Oh, okay. Now, so are you kind of ramping it up? Here it is. Oh yeah, let me post the link here. I just found it. Here it is. Let me see. Can I pin it? I think I just star it or something. Maybe that pins it. I'm not exactly sure. What's that say? Oh, pop out chat. Never mind. No. Okay. So it's there. There's a link. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm showing it. Okay. AI build with AJ. I like that. That's kind of cool. And there's some dollars in his head. That's pretty cute. I like the little graphs there. That's pretty sweet. One-stop shop channel for all your SQL needs. I like that. I like that it's niched down too, you know, from a complete beginner to landing your first tech role in data. Perfect. Learn from an in the field professional. SQL content will continue. However, I will display my AI builds along with educational tips and tricks. I don't rely on LLMs. I build mine without leveraging LLMs, giving the user safe and dependable AI solutions. Hey, that's good, man. Let's check out the videos. That's cool. Billionaire barber out now. Wealth Runner. Is this a little app, Wealth Runner? Oh, that's cool. It's like a little game. Agentic Systems 101. That's cool. I like that thumbnail there. That's kind of cool. With your face there, that's nice. I think you should I think you should blow up your, see, let me see here. I'm kind of curious to see. I like these. I like your face. You've seen my channel with my face being, you know, kind of like probably at least a third of the thumbnail. I think your face needs to be a third of the thumbnail on all this stuff, you know? It's hard. Thumbnails are never easy. Let's see. I'm going to sort by popular. That was 2 years ago. How to calculate year-over-year growth in SQL Server. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I used to do this, man. Execute a stored proc within C#. I've done that before. Index views, great. Yeah. This is great, man. Yeah, you just need more people, you know, finding the channel. That's the hardest thing, man, for anyone who wants to learn SQL. You know, yeah, we'll keep talking about this. You got to keep things real simple and emphasize, you know, this is a good skill to make money. That's another thing to emphasize. Maybe do a video on that. Are you doing shorts? Let's see here. Nah, not shorts. Honestly, I don't even bother with shorts. I've done a few here and there. They're okay, but I'm not a big fan of shorts. Those are the games I've built are on my site. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, you're going back to this, your site. You have your site up on, that's LinkedIn, PayPal, but you don't have, you need to get your site up on these, you know. Maybe you have them in the videos, but I'm gonna subscribe because I want to get the new videos and see what you're posting here. I'll check it out. Plus, I want to check out the game that you're doing. That's pretty cool looking. I'm just kind of curious to see what your website update. Okay. AnthonyJCTSG.com. That's the website. I'll check that out. Cool, man. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, it's never easy putting yourself out there, man, with your face on your channel and on your videos, but that's just the name of the game these days, right? So I was gonna say, did you see if those little, I think 1 or 2 videos that the YouTuber that we used to be on, what's his name? I'm already forgetting his name. It's one of those. It's been a long night. RC Edson. He had a new video out, but it was just him riding his bike or something like that. So darn, I thought I updated. Yeah, no big deal, dude. CTSG is my LLC initials. Okay, I gotcha. That's on the channel, I assume, right? Some of the videos or something. No, that's cool, man. Hopefully, that interview works out with, or that. Did you have a phone interview or something with? Or no, you did a full interview with someone, right? Hopefully that works out, and hopefully you find out soon whether it's a yes or a no, right? So, now, question: do you ever show your channel because it's tech related? You're teaching people tech. I think maybe that's something that you could add on a resume. I feel more comfortable with the tech recordings than the people that's in the gym with the tripods filming in that format is awkward to me. I haven't been, dude. I mean, come on, look at me. I'm not built. I have not been to a gym in, what's sad to say, probably 20 years. I walk, I should start running, but my knees are kind of shot. I would like to go to a gym. A Planet Fitness just opened up right down the road from me, so maybe I should start going. I'm getting kind of old. Yeah, I probably should start going. Yeah, you got to feel comfortable with what you're recording. That's for sure. I wouldn't feel comfortable detailing out code. I don't think. Not like other people I've seen on the internet talk about code. I can talk about money. I have no problem talking about money in the stock market. I know a decent amount about it. I've done pretty well in it. And at the end of the day, I think most of the messages I provide on the stock market, if I do talk about it, it's like, just saving your 20s and 30s. At the end of the day, like that's your most important time. I try to emphasize that quite a bit. I do emphasize the AI revolution, and a lot of people are naysaying it, like, oh, AI is not that good. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God, it's really good. I see why they're investing billions and billions of dollars into it. It may not be good in certain areas, but with coding, it crushes it. Like software is a whole different place nowadays. You can do anything you want with software. You could probably compete with StreamYard, honestly. If you put your mind to it with AI, you could build StreamYard, or you could build, dare I say, you could build YouTube. That's how good it is. YouTube's pretty crazy. You'd have to have a lot of servers to do it, but you could technically probably figure out the technology. I don't know how much proprietary stuff they have, but with AI, you can figure a lot of it out. Yes, sir. The link to my LinkedIn, YouTube, and my website. So you got your website up there now. Yeah, I'm probably missing some stuff too on my channel. I'll be honest. Like I don't go into my channel every day as far as like, oh, what should I change here? What can I improve here? I don't do that. I do open up YouTube and I look at my subscriber count. I want to see if it's still, growing at a steady pace. I like to see that. I look at the revenue here and there. I just like for that to be steady and maybe growing a little bit. I don't concern myself with revenue. I look at my latest video. I see if it's doing well or if it's a flop. Occasionally I go into my old videos just to see if they're still moving up and to the right, which right now they still are. So it seems like the YouTube algorithm is still happy with me for now. So we'll see if that continues, right? It is hard though to find ways of building content that are going to take off. I had a good run at the beginning of the year, jumping on this Bamboo P2S bandwagon. I did some basic videos. Like my best video now is the first 4 things you should print with your Bamboo P2S. It's these 4 things that I found helped make some prints. That's kind of the thing like that you could consider with what you're doing with SQL, is maybe like do a real simple thing, maybe like the 4 fundamental things you should know about SQL. The 4 or the 3 things that, I don't know, that improve your database, right? Or just very simple things that maybe anyone in tech could kind of relate to and might be interested in, right? Maybe relate it to more, maybe you could do like something like the four things I like about SQL versus non-SQL, very simple topics like that. I could see those getting traction. You know, if you had an opinion on SQL versus no SQL, there's probably a lot of videos like that. But if there's a lot of videos like that, usually those videos, when people end those videos, they get recommended videos like yours, right? That are talking about the same topic, right? That's kind of how the algorithm works. It's kind of always jumping from the same hot topic to the next, And some people want to know the opinion of one person to another person when it's referring to the same topic, if that makes sense, right? You got to, here's the biggest kicker to the whole thing, this whole YouTube thing. It's all about search at the end of the day, SEO, search engine optimization. What that means is people are searching for a term, and that's how people use YouTube. I mean, they obviously use the whatever you call that, the homepage, right, where you got all the thumbnails. People use that too, obviously. But people are searching out there all the time. They're always searching for things. They're searching for Bamboo P2S. They're probably searching for SQL, right, or no SQL. Like a common thing I guarantee people search is, should I start a database with SQL or non-SQL? That still probably gets searched a billion times a day, right? My first viral video, which still is viral to this day, I still get comments on it from time to time, was I put Jeremy Lefebvre, this financial guy, in the title of my video. The fact that I kind of traded with him and lost $25,000, I think that was part of it, you know, a misery story, but his name was really the reason why. And when I look at the analytics for that video, it's all Jeremy Lefebvre. Like all the videos that are showing my thumbnail of me crying, I have these little fake tears coming down the side of my face, are all videos of like talking about him or his videos, you know, themselves, I guess. I haven't looked at the analytics in a long time. But then I had another video go viral that was when Netflix launched this, God, what was the video called? Let me look at my channel here. Ooh, I gotta charge my laptop. I'm running out of juice here. Let me look at my channel here. Here, I'll just review with you guys my channel, kind of what my thoughts are on my videos. You'll get an idea of like kind of how to, you know, maybe go viral, or, you know, kind of see what I've done to kind of push that algorithm in my favor. I like helping people figure out YouTube. It's a puzzle, you know. I think it's kind of fun. Because I think having a channel is it's a good thing for business if you're looking to sell a product. And if you want to get monetized too. So the first thing I always do, and I should try to find this one channel that I got my first viral video on. The first thing I do when I look at someone's channel, especially a small creator like myself, let me make sure you guys can see the screen. Yeah, you can. Is I look at their subscriber count, and then I sort by popularity, and I look for the outliers. Now, for my channel, it's a little bit harder because I've had some success with these videos, but that's still a good way to see what's working in a certain space. Like print these first, right? Those 4 things to print. Or no, all I said was to print these first, and I think I had 4 things or something like that. This one is a comparison of 2 different filaments. Why I was switching. I think this video went viral because a lot of people don't like me printing these wall plates because they're not UL certified. So I think that's why I got a lot of flack with that one. Here's my crying. And when you, again, make sure you just put some big bold font on your thumbnails, man. Like just blast people in their face. You know, you can tell my thumbnails, you know, I definitely emphasize the font size. I don't go too big. That one was a little ridiculous, but I kind of knew that a misery story might take off, so that's why I did it. I mean, the rest I'm not too bad, but this one was all search. This Netflix mental health problems. The video was called Unknown Number, the high school catfish. I actually graduated with the girl that was the catfisher. She was the criminal of the story. I'm not going to go through it, but it was a video that was coming out on Netflix. And I thought to myself, I knew this girl. I might as well do a take on her after I watched the documentary. And so that's all I did. It got exactly 10,000 views. And then it stopped. As soon as people stopped searching for Unknown Number, the algorithm stopped, you know. So that was 100% search, which is interesting. The rest of these, I don't know if this is search really. Maybe this one, Bamboo Lab P2S. But as you can see, I put Bamboo P2S in this one, this one, even though it really had nothing to do with the Bamboo P2S, but I printed it on one. But that Bamboo P2S, man, it was popular. So that's kind of how I rode that wave of search, which was on Bamboo P2S. This one was probably another search one. This was dance and 3D prints, but that's just somebody popular in the 3D printing community. This one went viral a little bit, not really viral, but this was when that DeepSeek AI model came out. As soon as I saw that, I saw a video on CNBC that got over 1 million views, and they never get 1 million views. And I saw that huge viewership, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to go out and record a video and talk about this. And that was my first video over 1,000 views back in December in the winter, you can tell. And that's when I started posting every single day, nonstop for 365 days, as you can tell. I have hundreds of videos. I don't even remember half these videos. It's kind of crazy. Some of them are political. Some of them are, you know, I got into the 3D printer stuff, the 3D printing field. You know, here's a Palantir one, which guess what? I was right on this. Will Palantir crash 50%? And it did. It was at $210 a share, and it crashed down to 105, which is a 50% crash. I was right on this. Oh, and I was right on another one. This is another one. It's funny though, because these, oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to search in my channel. Where do I do that? How do I, yeah, there we go. This little search bar. Let's see here. There's my Pepsi challenge when I was buying AMD stock at $77 a share. And I said it was the Pepsi challenge of AI. It only got 73 views. That's too bad. All the people that could have saw that video could have made some good money. I talked about AMD a number of times. The next 10x stock, AMD versus NVIDIA. There you go. It's a 5x stock from when I bought it. It only got 200 views. Isn't that sad? YouTube could have made people some money, but it didn't feel like it. That's what really annoys me about YouTube is like they'd rather push the garbage content, like doom and gloom or manosphere than content like mine where I was like saying, "Hey guys, you might want to look into AMD." It was another stock that Jeremy Lefebvre was pushing as well. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, the helmet one? You want me to show you the helmet one? Let me see here. Let me just, oops, that's not what I want. Clear this out. The helmet one was, this was my daughter's boyfriend. Okay. My daughter has a little boyfriend in 6th grade. They're just friends pretty much, but she wanted to make, he is a fan of the LA Rams, and she wanted to make a multicolored LA Rams print. Where was that? That was down at like 500 views. I think it was down here a little more. There it is. Yeah, let me see here. Hey guys, welcome back. Can I share the audio with that? See, I'm not too familiar with that, but here, I'll just kind of, I'll show you this. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, here's the Rams helmet. Now, he likes the Rams because the former quarterback of the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford, now plays for the Rams. So I think that's why he's a big fan. And I printed this with PCTG for the yellow and the blue. That was all one print. And then the face mask was printed in like a matte black for PLA. And then the white parts were printed in PCTG. Now, I wasn't super happy with the quality. I think it's because I was, fiddling with this 0.6 millimeter nozzle because I was having some printing problems. But overall, for a nice Valentine's Day gift, I think it's pretty good. I had to shrink this model down from 100% down to 30%. So that could be some of the reason why I had so many problems, especially with the face guard. It's so thin that I had to reprint this face guard maybe like 2 or 3 times, different settings, so on and so forth. So, but overall, it did turn out pretty good, and I am pretty happy with it. Some of the colors got some filament issues there. Again, I'm still trying to dial in using PCTG, which is this filament that I'm using for my end products. Hopefully you guys could hear that through my speakers. I don't know, but it was just playing the audio. Yeah, you're right. I probably could. Yeah, but the problem is that's like a print that's like commercial. I'd have to buy the rights to do that. But I tell you what, it's still isn't the season yet. I could probably build some simple prints, maybe even, dude. You got me thinking there. I'm just gonna call you AJ instead of Ant Dog, AJ. Wait, why didn't I not look at your name on the thing? I can't remember what your name was. It Anthony? Was it on your channel? Let me know what your name is again. I was just call you Ant Dog because that's what I know you by. Maybe I could theme these in like team colors, right? I couldn't do an official Rams logo because you have to license that from the NFL. But I could do some theme colors, right? Multicolor. That's not a bad idea for some frames. Anthony. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, I would like to get into that. Doing sports type of stuff, right? It's not a bad idea. I think they would sell better than probably my wall plates. It's just how people just like prints like that. They like supporting their teams, right? It's not a bad idea. Even a little football helmet like that, I could just model that myself. I don't even need to use that print that I had. I could probably model one that would be easier for me to print, design it in a way that would be easier for me to deal with. That print was very difficult. And those aren't disposable like the cheap crap in the store. Yeah, you mean like a little, a little tiny helmet that you might get in the store that's kind of like really, really cheap plastic. Yeah. College-inspired stuff too, yeah. Yeah, I really got to start expanding my thoughts around selling products with 3D printers because I mean I like doing these frames. These are cool and all, but I need to theme them a little bit more, right? I need to think about, yeah, I guess maybe the thing is like I've always thought like that football helmet, I could never do that, but now I kind of think I could, if that makes sense, right? I think I could model that on my own and just sell it as my own print. I used to not think that way, but like this frame, it kind of changed my perspective. Like the pinball machine, it's changing my perspective. Like I can make whatever I want and sell whatever I want, right? I just can't put the LA Rams, quote unquote, in the print because obviously I'd be doing the copyright thing or licensing issue there. But I think some colors that were themed on a sports team would be fine. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to care and go to Etsy and say, "Oh, you're using our colors." Plus, they wouldn't be the official colors because they would not be the exact color because there's filament color. It'd be a close color, right? You literally have a money printer. Yeah, it kind of feels like that, you know. Um, it does feel like that. Like you've got this printer that has the capacity to make money, right? Um, you just got to come up with something that people like, right? That people see some value in. I mean, the wall plates, they're doing okay. I sold 26 on Etsy, and I've sold probably 20 some on my website. The website makes more money than Etsy. I've had to market on Etsy. I haven't had to market on YouTube. The money I've made on my website is all from YouTube. I might have had maybe one or two random transactions that I think weren't YouTube related, but YouTube has helped sell the business as far as my website with zero advertising dollars. That's the key to that. I mean, with Etsy, I'm pretty much at break even because I've been spending money on advertisements, which I've lowered it down to $7 a week, $1 a day. I'm no longer going to spend $3 a day. It's too expensive. If I had a product that sold more volume for Etsy, then I would market there more. But these wall plates are kind of niche, and maybe it's just not the place for selling wall plates, you know. Even though there's a lot of them on there, a lot of them are printed in like PLA and stuff like that. But that's okay. I'm learning. You know, at the end of the day, this has been a learning year for me. I'm not going to be some highly profitable business. I don't even know if I'm going to keep selling these wall plates if they, you know, I don't know. It just depends. Like if I find a new product like these frames, if these sell in bulk volume, I'm just going to prioritize these, right? Or if my pinball machine takes off, I'm going to focus on pinball machines, right? I'm going to be bye wall plates. But I mean, if they continue to kind of generate some revenue each year, a little bit more each year, then I'll continue to sell them. You know, no reason not to. I thought that the NFL would license the team logos. Yeah, they would, right? I think they do. And you can get licensing for NFL stuff, but you're going to pay an arm and a leg. And I don't know if they work with small vendors like us. But you can do their colors. You know, you can just theme something like, I don't know how you can't use their team name in the title of your product, but you can describe a product as this is the LA Rams themed, picture frame or whatever it is you're trying to theme. I think you can do that. You can probably get away with that. But if you try to use their team name in the title, you're going to get dinged. They're going to say cease and desist, buddy. They want their cut, right? I would ponder mastering one seasonal product and ramp up over time. The spending that occurs between October and January is insane. Yeah, you're right. And I am going to do a seasonal Christmas ornament type theme for these frames. I don't know if that's really something that's going to sell. My wife thinks it will, but it's her product idea, so she's a little biased. So am I, though. But yeah, you're right. Seasonal items. I mean, now this is not my model. This was from whatever it's called, AO Seed, that company. I don't know how that system works, but Could I make this? A little quilting thing, I'd have to learn how to do that. But I could make something similar to this. That could sell for October. People are into Halloween. They're already selling Halloween stuff at Menards in August. See, they know what's up, don't they? Right? They know exactly how to position their products 3 months before Halloween, because Halloween sells, doesn't it? So turned off all ads on our Etsy. Yeah, no, I hear you, Brent. You got to do it. You can't lose money, meaning like you try it, right? You try out a product, you market it in a certain market. There's nothing wrong with advertising and losing money. If it doesn't sell in that market, you got to stop. You got to stop the bleeding. You can't continue to bleed money. So my new strategy is to try to go down to $7 a week, $28 a month. That means I got to sell 2 wall plates a month to recoup my advertising dollars and make a tiny profit. So I'm going to go down to $7 a week. And if I don't get any sales in a month or two, I'm going to zero. Plain as day. I'm not messing around with a market that's not going to fulfill the need, And again, it's a niche product. Not everyone is into a shelf with a wall plate, Probably a better strategy for you and I and anyone else listening to this is probably just to look at what sells on Etsy and resell the same damn product at the end of the day. Even if you're not passionate about the product, that's probably the best way to sell sometimes is copy what works. Unfortunately, that's the reality of things. With 3D printing, you'd probably have to model it yourself, I'd say, or I guess you could license it. You can license other models and make money that way. Like the Flexi Dragons, I suppose. I don't know. I think for me, I guess I want to do it on my own. That's just me. Flexi Dragons. All right, now let me ask you something. Do you sell Flexi Dragons, Cosmin? I know you do. I know you got a shop of Flexi Dragons. You're kicking butt and taking names, and you probably made $80,000 on it. I'll show you guys this shop that I know makes some money. He's a subscriber on the channel. He found me through this RC Edson guy. Here, let me add this back to stage. I'll just go over to Etsy. I think it's on favorites. Let's see here. Prop Dude shop. Where is it at? Shops. There it is. All right. This guy, he's making, he said he told me he's making around $70K gross revenue from Etsy. Let me see here. Let me go to a shop here. Where did I find Etsy? I swear annoys the crap out of me because you can't find the dang shop. Like, where's his shop link here? And why didn't it take me to the shop? It's like, all right, here it is. Here it is. Prop Dude. All right. This shop, he's got movie props. And I think these take hours and hours and hours to print, but man, he's making $70K a year. If that gives you an idea of what people are buying and spending their money on. Look at this Predator mask, man, $265. And I think what he does is he licenses the prints from a designer and he just makes a modification to them. He still has to pay the guy, I believe, but he makes a mod or two. I mean, look at $250 for a couple of little axes from some movie. Velociraptor, $20 from Jurassic Park. This one, I think, is what he makes his big bucks on. This Book of the Dead from The Mummy, 1999. I mean, but look at this. Look at that. Look at this 3D print, though, guys. I mean, that has to take some time to make that. I don't know how long he takes, but this is pretty cool. But 625. Look, 16 views in the last 24 hours, guys. I mean, think about how many movies there are out there that could use props. This guy isn't going to cover them all. You know, he doesn't care. I think he's got one competitor, and he told me, he's like, dude, no one's in this space. I should probably just get into this, man. I'm gonna find a movie that, you know what, I should just go with Scarface. Everyone loves Scarface, and just do some Scarface props. I used to love that movie. I still do. It's a raw movie, but yeah. And that's why I'm kind of doing the pinball machine, because it's like, it's a print that takes hours and hours and hours like this. I don't know if I'll ever get to this point, but man, look at that design. That's crazy. Oh, wait, am I showing this? Oh, dang it, I'm not showing it. I clicked on it. That's the problem. Hold on. Share this tab. There it is. Sorry, guys. I'm still not good with this thing. Look at this thing. I mean, look at how detailed that is. Insane. Again, 16 views in the last 24 hours. You know, somebody's got their finger on the trigger for $625. And this guy, again, he sold 70K last year. And this is his side hustle. He's not even doing this full time. I have a very bad take on 3D printed stuff. You might not like it. That's not a problem, man. Like, there are some people that like 3D prints and some people that hate it, you know, so I totally get it. Okay, I'm back on this account. My kid face was timing her. Okay, yeah. Last show, there was a 3D printer company doing all flexi and only printing in one color, not even a color change for the eye, all one color, and everyone is buying from them. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I guess, why fight the fight, right? Just go with the flow. Go with where the river is flowing. And that river of money, you want to be part of that, right? So sometimes you got to do that. Dan, do you have a Pinterest? My Gen Z marketing partner told me that Pinterest and TikTok has the best keywords for SEO and ideas. No, I don't. I do have a TikTok. You know what? Maybe I should focus on that. Pinterest and TikTok. You got a point there. That's good. Good to note, man. I'll do a video on that if I start that out and start getting some traction. I know TikTok is pretty hot. I think these would sell on TikTok and my other bathroom products. I don't think the wall plates are for TikTok, but I need to focus on TikTok more. I have an account. I have 5 videos on there. They actually got some views for the first time. A couple of them got 300 views, but I stopped. I don't know. Maybe I just need to do some more short. I just need to toss a bunch of short form content. Just care none, right? Just throw it out there. Somebody will find it and like it. And not even think twice about it, right? So what do you think the final sales price will be for your pinball machine? Man, that's a tough question. You know, I think the filament, from a cost perspective, think about these things. It's about 1 kilogram probably for, I would suspect, all the prints that I'm going to do. Like, because I got to do the play field, the bumpers. I still got a front part and a back part, and I got to do the part that goes above and shows the scoreboard. So I'm at least going to be at 1 kilogram of filament, 100%. So that right there, cost of goods is going to be at least $10 to $15, right, for 1 kilogram. And then if I add a touch screen to it, or not a touch screen, just a regular screen, doesn't have to be touch, even though everything you buy is a touch screen these days. I can get a 5-inch for like $40, $30 retail. And then a computer, a small, tiny computer, a couple, 10, 20 more bucks. So now I'm at $50 in probably electronic components. And then parts that'll be like, you know, mechanical parts in the pinball machine, if I can get some of those, maybe another $10. So let's say $60 for mechanical and the screen, plus another 20 in filament. That's like $70. Maybe I could get it to 50. Let's just say I could get it to $50 cost of goods. Maybe $299. You know, I'm thinking like $300, $299. I'd like to be at that point, right? I think when you get to like $500, that's a huge ask of people these days. Like, I don't know how that prop dude shop, this little book here, is selling for $625, but apparently it does. There's 16 people looking at it. I'd like to stay around $299 if the pinball machine really works well, right? I have to have the confidence that it could. Man, $399 would be ideal. If I could sell them at $399, I think $299 would be probably what most people would be willing to pay. I don't know. It's really hard to say, you know. If I start to, if I, let's see here. Let's see what you guys are saying. The stuff that I make caters to old souls, so 3D printed items are unfit. But if I need a jig or a contraption for production, I'll 3D print it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know there's like 3D print farms that just do jigs. I forget the guy's name, but he just does jigs for his entire business. He's got a whole print farm. So I know that's a big deal when you're printing like UV printers and ink printers. You might need jigs for that. Yeah, $350 at the minimum. That's kind of what I'm thinking. $350 to $399. I know I said $299. That's kind of like that. Like, is it really worth my effort? I think $350 to $399 for the amount of effort I'm putting in. If I could really make it a machine that plays like a real pinball machine, I think $399 people could enjoy it. You know, if you had a touchscreen, that's easy, 500 easy, and Christmas would be the perfect time to sell those, which gives you 9 to 10 months to pump them out. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I guess I don't think I'll get it ready for this holiday season. I might, you know, I've got 3 months left. I don't know how far I'll get in 3 months. I'd like to get it out before this holiday just to see if I could sell 1 or 2 of them, right? If I could, then I could prepare and print out, I don't know, you know, maybe I could produce, you know, 10 or 20 for next year, right? I don't know what would 10 be at 400? That'd be $4,000, right? Yeah, $4,000 in gross revenue. If I could make 10, sell 10 or 20, that'd be 8,000. Now I'm really talking business here. Yeah, $400, sell 10 or 20. Now I'm at $4,000 or $8,000 in incremental revenue in my household. That would be pretty good. Obviously, I'd still have to spend some money on ad spend, but it'd be real tight. I'd really only need to spend that advertising money heavy just before the holiday season, right? That's how a lot of people succeed in the holidays, is they focused solely on like 2 to 3 months, right? 4 months. So let's see here. Oops, missed that one. How much is the plexiglass? I forgot about that. You're right. It was $15, I think, for 2 of those. So $7 each. So I got to include that. I almost forgot that one, right? There's probably a few other things I'm forgetting and not assuming about this pinball machine. So now, granted, with, you know, if I was doing this at scale, you know, could I keep it at $50? I don't know. You know, will it be $50 or $70? Will it be $100? I don't know. Just depends on how much stuff I start putting into this play field once I get things going, you know, because it all adds up. Any little thing you buy, let's say I buy something that pops the pinball back out. You know how sometimes you'll hit the pinball, it'll go in a slot and then pop back out. You know, even that little apparatus could cost me $5, $10 to wire it up with a MOSFET controller or whatever. I have no clue what that's going to cost me, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. I'm going to share. I'm trying to share every step, both in the lives and on long form videos. So you have to be more confident. You have to factor in the labor and the materials. Yeah, definitely materials. Now, as far as the labor goes, I don't consider hired help. I would only consider that if I was at scale. You know, then I'd have to price that accordingly if the volume was there. If I had enough demand where 16 people had this in their cart, then yeah, I really do have to consider labor, because I couldn't keep up with 16 people in their cart of a pinball machine. So, because this thing already takes 24 hours to print 2 parts, just the cabinet parts alone. And then I got to assemble it all and get all the parts in. But yeah, eventually I'd like to consider labor as part of the equation, but I'm not there yet. I got to get to some product that actually sells enough to where, oh, I can't keep up with it. I got to hire labor, right? I think it's Sam Craft that is that YouTube channel for the jigs. Yes, you're right. Sam Craft. Yeah. I like his channel. He's got a good channel. I enjoy his videos. I haven't been there for a while. Um, I think he's got kind of like a green logo, if I remember right, like a lime green logo. But he's got a nice little print farm. I definitely like it. But he has a good, realistic perspective on the realities of running one of these 3D print farms. So I like his channel. I got to go back over there and check out his channel. Let's see here. I am making a large pinball machine with mechanical movements. It weighs over 4,000. 4K, really? It weights over 4K, or you bought it for over 4K? I can't imagine selling it for less than $400 with all the attachments. You mean for my pinball machine or for yours? Let me know what you meant on that. Oh, yeah, you mean if you were doing a large pinball machine? Yeah, if you were doing that, yeah, you couldn't do that for under $400. The large pinball machines are $8,000, $10,000, $11,000 from Stern or Jersey Jack. Those are awesome pinball machines, man. They're so cool looking. I'd like to get one myself, definitely. I have the room down here for maybe one or two of them over here. I don't think my wife, though, is going to be down for that. Especially, I want the Star Wars one. There's a Star Wars one. We should go check that out. Aim for 2027. Yeah, I'm in no rush. Yeah, I'm not in any rush to sell this. I'll be honest. I don't even know if I'm going to sell it. It's got to be a machine that feels like a real pinball machine. That's what I guess I'm selling myself short. I don't know if I have the confidence if it'll feel like a real pinball machine. I mean, I've got the flippers. I feel like that feels real. Like it actually, even pressing it feels like a real pinball machine. I'm really struggling. I mean, not really, but I'm struggling with this a little bit. I got to work a little bit on this. That's why I'm on a second version. But we'll see. I got to see if if I hit one of these flippers, which it'll definitely push the ball all the way up. Can I 3D print those little rails that go in the little turns? Can I 3D print one that's gonna make the ball go really smooth down the track? I don't know. I might even do like transparent ramps. I think that'd be kind of cool. Do some transparent filament. That'd be interesting to see how that would work. But then, is the size going to feel like a real pinball machine too? Do I have enough length here with this? I think I do. Do I have enough width? I hope I do. It's not going to feel perfectly like a real pinball machine, but if I can get it, let's say, 90% close to a real feel pinball machine, I'll definitely sell it then, but I don't want to sell poor quality. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, I like high quality stuff. So you can start your ads in September, or you can pay some UGCS. What is UGCS again? Let me know what that is. Oh, my labor. Yeah, I could price in my labor. I know my time is valuable. It's probably not a bad idea to kind of price that in, because then otherwise you get discouraged and then you just stop wanting to sell the product if it isn't worthwhile. The labor on these wall plates is a nothing burger, honestly. I mean, it probably takes me like 5 minutes to clear the print, make sure it's deburred properly, and then put it in a box, get a shipping label. It's probably like 10, 15 minutes of my time. I don't know. Counting my labor is tough. but I'm definitely making it to a price point where if it were to scale, it would be worth it. The hardest thing is getting a product that scales, that's in high demand. That's what I'm searching for. That's what everyone's searching for, right? So it's really hard to price in your labor when you're only doing like 1, 2 a week, right? I could probably price my labor in better if I was selling 10 a week, right? Then I'd kind of know where things are with that. But I don't know. It's hard. Never easy. I posted a picture of them on Discord, the Next Layer Project Showcase. Okay, I'll check that out. Is that a open like Discord channel that people can check out? Let me check my Discord. The Next Layer. How do you find? Can you find Discords like that? Here, let me look here. I'm gonna check out Discord real quick on the web. Come on. Your computer gets slow when you're definitely sharing. Oh, I'd have to log in. I never go on. I wonder if I can search on the Discord app. Let me see here. What is it called? The Next Layer. Okay. Can I search on Discord globally? Let me see here. I don't think I can. Start or find it. Let me see. The Next. What is it called? The Next Layer. Okay, let me check that out. The Next Layer. Or do you have to be invited? Don't you have to be invited to these? Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I'm not good at Discord. I had it set up for 4-player multiplayer. Yeah, you mentioned that. Okay. These are with real large pinball machines, right? Oh, from his YouTube channel for Discord link. Okay. The Next Layer. Okay. That's a YouTube channel that you're talking about? Let me go back to YouTube. Did I look at this last time? Let me see here. All right. Let me see what this is. 3D printing. Okay. So he had this pinball machine, four things set up here. Oh, you said it was in his description. Discord community. Okay. Right there. Maybe I'll join it. Let's see if it'll open up my Discord there. I'll go ahead and check this out, and I'll share it next week. I'll check that out. Okay, cool. Are you on that Discord? I probably should start up a Discord, maybe. I mean, I have Discord. I just don't have a server up and running or anything that I do. Like It's a Wealthy Life. Maybe I could just do that one. And I did start memberships, but I didn't keep up with it. I didn't even do any membership videos. I probably should. I just been lazy about it. You get busy in life, and I'm not looking to make a living on YouTube. So it's not like I'm like trying to push memberships, like, oh, I got to make memberships a priority because I got to make a living on YouTube, I'd like to do it though, because I'd like to get a cadence of hanging out with people, on my channel, which I'm doing on these Friday night live streams. But I could try to fit in another kind of membership thing where maybe I do membership lives or something like that, or videos, I suppose. I gotta start doing those, I guess, if I want to do it. So challenges of YouTube, Oh, for the project showcase, I will. I'll sign up and check out his server. I just got off another server because it was old and crusty. So I'll add a new one to my Discord. So, but yeah, that's what's been going on in my life. A little bit of modeling for work. Obviously, the pinball machine's going pretty good. Making adjustments to the shooting ramp. I'm going to be working my way. The next thing I want to do, I think, is get it to where this shooting ramp pushes a ball and the ball will go to the very top and then fall down to the flippers. That's my next goal. So I'm going to have to print the next section of cabinet with the hole, and then I might try to print like some sort of guide on the shooter ramp so that it guides the ball and turns it into the hole on the other side. So yeah, that'll be kind of fun. I got to shoot a video explaining all these little details and all that stuff. But yeah, I've been doing pretty good with this little thing. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see the final product eventually. I don't know what it's going to be. I will say I was gonna jump off the live stream, but I do want to say I looked into the UV printer, the Ufimake. I can't remember the creator. I just subscribed to him, but God, let me go look at who that is. You guys probably already know who it is. Let's see here. I just subscribed to him, so he's in my list. Why isn't he in my list? I'm pretty sure I subscribed to him. Maybe I didn't. Anyways, it was another. It was a creator that does 3D printing. He did a whole video on the Ufimake UV printer, but I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on that. It's like $2,500, and it's kind of toxic material if it touches your fingers. People like to copy designs. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get like too much in the weeds, I suppose. I mean, they could watch this live stream and see the model, I suppose. But I want to share enough to where people can kind of see the general gist of what I'm doing, I suppose. But you're right. I mean, I think I should protect, my efforts, right? So I'll take that. I'll take that into consideration for sure. But going back to that UV printer, the resin that is stored in the cartridges, it expires, and the maker of that UV printer, they won't even let you print with an expired cartridge. They lock it out, so you got to toss them. And then I guess apparently they kind of really smell, so you can smell the VOCs quite a bit. Apparently one of the other creators I follow said that if you close the doors, it doesn't smell too bad. Now I could build a hood in there that would cover the unit and obviously blow the fumes out my little exhaust system. But I don't know, 2,500, and you got to keep it running. So I think I'm gonna maybe consider the H2C to do colored play field prints, because I can get that top layer all different colors and do maybe design different colors there. So I might just go with the H2C as an investment rather than the UV printer. Maybe I could upgrade to a UV printer if I get sales, right? If I see I'm getting sales, I could improve the design and the coloring and the photos that are on it. So UV is so cool, but I hate harmful chemicals. That's what is hesitant for me. The two things that are hesitant for me are the expiration. You got to keep using it, right? You got to have a need to keep printing with that resin color print. And I'm not, if I can smell it that bad, like even if I print ABS, my almond wall plates are ABS, the fire retardant. It's the only color I can get. It's in ABS. I don't even like printing that because I have smelt it here and there, even though I have the exhaust system, which I probably should soup up a little bit. I could put another fan in line, but I don't like smelling that. it makes me feel uncomfortable. I used to smell stuff like that as a chemist back in the day at Dow Chemical, and I used to always kind of feel like, should I be smelling that? And yeah, I feel that way too. The other issue is the machine needs to cycle 100% of the time, or you need to purge everything to store. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, right. You got to be constantly printing or cycling it. And otherwise you got to do a clean out, I think it is. Yeah. So it feels to me like you have to have a consistent volume product to make that product worth your while, right? You do a long run, you burn through all the resin, you sell that material, you sell those products, and then you do another run where you run through all of that CYKM, whatever it is, the color resin or whatever. There's like white and there's a gloss as well, and then you got the colors in a black. So there's like what, 5 or 6 cartridges, and you got to have a jig too, right? You got to jig this stuff up and align it properly with the camera and all that. That feels like it's definitely a lot of work. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like getting into that, you know? The product it produces looks pretty impressive. It does look really nice, but I'm going to attempt the multicolor print. I can even do that with my printer. I can just do the top layer and just change filament. There's some waste involved in that, but at least I can get a feel for what it will look like using one of my 3D printers. So I can still do it with a P2S. And then I can justify whether or not I would buy a H2C or not. So we'll see. All things to consider. But I like to be cautious with spending my money. I don't want to be too reckless. I got 2 furnaces to replace with air conditioners. That's going to kill my mojo for the next year as far as like wanting to spend money on big ticket items, right? Like a $2,000 printer or a $2,500 UV printer. Now I could reach out to them and maybe pitch sponsorship. Like, hey, do you guys want to send me a printer? I'll review it for you, and I'll make my pinball machine with it if you guys want me to do that. Not if you guys, but I would be willing to do that, because I would literally use it to showcase the pinball machine for sure. So that would be a promotion for them if they were to send me a free printer. But again, yeah, the VOCs, I'm kind of like worried about that. And then I would have to buy more of the resin. I don't think they're going to supply me with resin, even if I got a sponsorship. So, oh yeah, it's like one of those things. Do I really even want to put forth the effort into getting one? Because again, I'd have to like really print with it, the play field. And I want to, I'm considering the cabinet itself. I wouldn't be able to print this on that Eufemake printer because it's too tall. I don't believe this would fit in there. But I could obviously make plates that could go on this, right? Real thin, like maybe 3 millimeter, 2 millimeter plates. But I could do that with my 3D printer. But I could make a plate just like this playfield plate right here, right? That could go in the Eufemake UV printer and print the surface. So, because I would like to do the sides as well as the playfield as well, and the scoreboard. So there's a lot of cool things I'm excited to make. Like, it's going to be AI art because I'm not an artist. I will be using AI to do the artwork on this pinball machine. I'm not like going to beat around the bush around that. I'm not an artist. So I might be able to do a few things myself. You know, I know how to use Photoshop, which I might make adjustments to the AI generated photos. But yeah, it'll be kind of fun to build a themed pinball machine and figure out how to color it, whether it's a UV printer or a 3D printer. We'll see what happens. So all things to look forward to in the future. That's why I like this project too. It kind of gets my brain thinking, oh, what's the next step? What's the next challenge? How do I want to do this? I should probably start. Maybe that's a good idea. I'm giving myself good ideas. I should probably start building the artwork on the play field. It may not line up to how the game is being played, but at least I could start like building some cool artwork and start brainstorming a theme, right? Because I could come up with like, what do I want for, oh, this thing is heavy. I don't know how I'm going to ship this if I ever sell it. I'm going to have to figure that out too. That's another challenge. What kind of artwork could I do just right here on this ball return overlay, right? What kind of artwork could I do there on the ball return? What kind of artwork for under the flippers, in the middle of the flippers? I could do that right now, so I need to start doing that and running my 3D printers hot, start running them. Even the shooter ramp, I think I could start thinking of artwork there. I got to figure out what theme I'm going to do first. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. So I can't really do licensed themes like Star Wars and stuff like that. But I'm thinking of just generic things like, I don't know, maybe rocket ships or tools. Thinking 3D printer too, like a Flexi Dragon theme. I don't know, something like that. I could do something cool. I'd have to maybe create my own Flexi Dragon, which I think you can do commercially, even on Bamboo Lab. They have some sort of tools to make maybe Flexi Dragons or Flexi something or other. I think I am going to do that. The first theme will be a 3D printed theme. Why not? People are buying these Flexi Dragons and the kids love all those toys, even though I'm going to market it as 14 plus because legally you're supposed to be 14 plus. And because if you sell to kids, there's certain restrictions and part sizes and all sorts of stuff. So that's another challenge of mine. I got to look into the, formal lawsuit area as far as how to market this thing. So all fun things to consider. So, but I really appreciate everyone being here on the live stream. I've been going for a bit here, 2 hours and 37 minutes. That's another good long live stream on a Friday night. And, I appreciate everyone spending their time with me on a Friday night. That's something to be said there too. I like hanging out with everyone, and conversation was great as well with everyone on the live stream talking. And I enjoy sharing people's projects, their websites, whatever it is. Let me know as well if you guys want to share something in the future. I'm using StreamYard because I haven't really tried to invite other people to join in, but maybe next time we'll do that. Yeah, I love the new ideas. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I love getting these new ideas with you guys too. I think you guys present new ideas for me to start thinking about and pondering, and then I bring it to the table, I test it, and then see if it works for me. So yeah, good night, Steve. You have a great night, man. Thanks, guys. I'm going to end it here. We'll see you guys next week. Later.